Why would you take a character that is very attractive and then make it worse?
Hey, real quick, my boy, are you okay?
No, he's not. He's not okay. This is Asmongold you're talking about. Nothing is okay with this man at all. Nothing.
This is where we're at. Nothing better to complain about this week, so we're saying Morrigan, of all people, is fried. I've looked at so many photos comparing her in Veilguard to Origins and Inquisition. I scoured the internet because I thought maybe I'm just missing something. She looks fucking better now. Like, I feel like I'm going insane here.
No, it's okay. Keep going. Keep going. It's not like I haven't been saying this for a while, but you know, people don't want to be listening to me. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So most of the time, I'm gonna have someone else talk for me. And by all means, continue. Go ahead, continue.
The character looks completely okay. Who in this world can look me in the eyes with a straight face and say that if this woman existed in real life and approached Asmongold, that he would go, no thanks, not my type? Because you would be lying.
Well, no, most of the time she would be wondering why the fuck is this house so goddamn dirty. Think about this. The Witch of the Woods, Morrigan, is gonna wonder why Asmongold's house is so goddamn dirty. This bitch lives in the woods. Just let that sink in.
That man would be shaking at his knees if a chick like this even looked his way while passing in the street. This is how I know the grifting shit has reached levels society couldn't have even imagined. At first it was like, oh, we don't like gay people in our games, which is like, okay, I get it, you're stupid, you know? That kind of BS is at least comprehensible. But we've traveled so far down this rabbit hole that we're saying video game characters that are objectively good looking, and I don't even like white women like that, but we're now trying to gaslight the audience into buying into the idea that characters that aren't even ugly are actually beat. Y'all are pushing me to a point where I'm starting to think this shit ain't salvageable. I had hoped that maybe we could get this gaming shit to be normal again at some point, but I think we might be too far gone. I'm saying blow it up, tear the whole thing down, hit the reset, and we just gotta pray that the second time around, evolution takes a different path, because this is embarrassing.
What? I'm playing solitaire. I'm not saying a damn word most of the time. As I said, I'm just letting this guy speak. And obviously, you know, I'm agreeing with everything he's saying. I'm just saying I'm letting him speak. Because apparently I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about from some of you guys, you know, begging me for an apology when I wasn't wrong. But just continue listening on to some points here, okay? And most likely I'll say something at the end. Alright? What are you still doing here? Go ahead. Go ahead. It's some good points, I promise you. I promise you.
Hey, how do you feel about pronouns?
I really thought we were gonna be cool, man.
Why are you shoving your personal politics? Why are you shoving your morality and your censorship into like my video games? Like this is what I do to get away from the world. I play video games to get away from stress.
This is insinuating that things like pronouns or gay people cause stress in your real life. It's also insinuating that those things just simply existing in a game also stresses you out. That would very much be a you problem.
And when you escape to the video game just to have somebody say, hey, how do you feel about pronouns?
I've played hundreds of games in my life. That has never happened to me. An RPG giving you the option to choose your pronouns is not preaching to you about pronouns. It's just giving the option to the people who give a fuck about that kind of stuff. If you don't have to worry about it. You choose your straight white character and dialogue options and go about your day. Also, this idea that these things are pushing political agendas, my king, black people and women and gay people existing is not politics. Those are just real things. And you say, oh, I want to play games to escape reality. Well, you're a straight white guy, right? So if we were to get rid of all the straight white guys in video games so we can get you detached from that reality you're trying so hard to run away from, is that a valid solution?
Now, let me put out like somewhat of a olive branch out there. Now, I've heard criticisms in regards to the story, the gameplay, and even, the graphics not being on par. They say that it doesn't feel like a Dragon Age game. They say that the story does not hit like the other ones, and they say the story is not as good as the other ones. Those are valid. I completely understand. I can see where people are coming from, because I believe the story of Dragon Age, actually Veilguard, is not as good as Inquisition or the other ones. But when you get the anti-woke or DEI crowd coming in here sprouting absolute nonsense like what they're doing right now with Dragon Quest, it's kind of weird that you come into this game talking about they're spreading wokeness and DEI, which is not true, because wokeness and DEI does not exist in video games. But you played Inquisition and you didn't realize that there was a scene like this.
Dorian.
Father. So the whole story about the family retainer was just, what? A smokescreen?
Then you were told. I apologize for the deception, Inquisitor. I never intended for you to be involved.
Of course not. Magister Parvus couldn't come to Skyhold and be seen with the dread Inquisitor. What would people think? What is this exactly, Father? Ambush? Kidnapping? Warm family reunion?
This is how it has always been.
You went through all of this to get Dorian here. Talk to him.
Yes, Father. Talk to me. Let me hear how mystified you are by my anger.
Dorian, there's no need to.
I prefer the company of men. My father disapproves.
Obviously, you missed the whole thing where the actual creator of Dragon Age said that the game was woke the whole time, right? You see, a lot of people don't understand why, a lot of inclusion like this is happening now in those aspects. Is because many times in media, we weren't able to go ahead and push out that aspect for a while. But now, since people realize it's been a natural thing for many, many years, they're now able to push it out because there's social media. There's many different outlooks. There's many different outputs for this. And you know what? Video games is one of them. But the idea that people are now upset about this and people are using this is a major issue. It's something that is not worth talking about simply because of this. If you come out to a point where you deem a game terrible, or deem like a game will not sell because of something like this, any criticism towards a video game will be really, really on loose ends. Nobody will talk onto a point where, hey, this game's gameplay is terrible. Hey, this game's freaking graphics are terrible. The story was not good. No, they're going to be worried about whether the game has pronouns, or whether the game has, a black character who is a protagonist or a female protagonist. And this leads to a shitty discussion of what actually, real criticism for a video game is. So, yes, this is a major issue with that. And this is why I say wokeness in DEI does not exist, because this is just addition to things that have been in the norm for multiples and multiples of years. The problem is that we now have media to be able to push out. Now, here's the thing that bothers me. A lot of people say they don't want to see this in their video games. Now, when a company actually comes out for a LGBTQ plus company, or a woke company in general, and they make their own video game, you still won't support it for no fucking reason. You would tell them, hey, you know what? Why don't you guys go ahead and make your own fucking video game? They'll do that, and it still won't be supported. That's the major issue. We need to come to, as gamers, to a point where we're actually critiquing the video game properly. But for the anti-woke and DEI group, it's very fucking weird. These are guys that go ahead and pop in on Twitter. These are guys that go ahead and pop in on YouTube just to make clickbait. And it's fucking weird, because when you see people who actually enjoy this fucking game, like, it gets to a point where people get upset and people will say that you are paid. Like, how?
Literally, if I have another person that tells me I'm being paid for saying anything good about Dragon Age the Veilguard, I am going to just send them to my channel membership page, all right? Link them to it and say, okay, fine, then pay me. Because I don't get paid. This is my own personal thoughts. And the fact that people can't accept that other people like things that they don't is just egregious. I said that many times on this channel.
So most likely the next time when someone's saying that EA is paying me, because I've actually had that in the comments, but as I said, for stuff like this, I hold the comments because the stupidity that runs into my comment section. And with that, I want to let you guys know it's still gonna happen. Everybody gets upset, it's like, oh, you hold the comments or you turn off the comments. Do you know whose comment section you are in? You don't go to someone's house and demand them to do whatever you want in their house. No, bitch. This is my house. Okay? You could comment if I tell you to fucking comment. Or if I let you to comment. But with that, if you understand the whole situation of why, people like the game, people explain why they like the game, and people get shitted on for liking it. But as I said, with this, you are, entitled to your opinion. If you don't like it by story, gameplay, you don't like the way the graphics look, you think the story is not as good as the other ones, then fine. But when you say something like there is woke and DEI nonsense, that whole entire criticism for the game just goes out the window, and you're not worth listening to. Because those things don't fucking exist. Those are just actual real life aspects that people don't want to understand that, hey, it's been a thing. But you know what? I didn't say it. A lot of people I showed you said it for me. And you know what? That's something you guys gotta deal with. That's a pill you gotta swallow. Tough shit.